Hello everyone. In this video, we embark on an exciting journey of discovery about the existence of habitable planets in the universe. For years, human beings have wondered whether we are not alone in the universe and have begun to track down planets that potentially harbor life. The primary goal of scientists is to find another home outside the Earth. But knowing what the conditions necessary for life are is vital to identifying potential candidates. Atmospheric composition, temperature range, water availability, and other factors are examined to determine whether a planet is habitable. You will learn how space research telescopes and rovers equipped with future technology are used to detect habitable planets. We will also share data from observations and discoveries made by NASA and other space agencies. The stories of planets that push the limits. We will encounter surprising facts about the atmospheres and climatic conditions of exotic worlds and look for possible traces of water and life. We will also examine how we evaluate the fitness potential of planets orbiting stars. Join this exciting journey of discovery and question the idea that there could be another home in the universe. The discovery of habitable planets in the future could usher in a new era for humanity and shape the future of space travel. There are scientific findings that there are many planets in the universe with the possibility of life. However, no other planet has yet been discovered with certainty that life exists. Earth is the only planet where life exists, as far as we know. However, there are billions of galaxies in the universe and billions of stars in these galaxies. It is thought that many of these stars also have planets around them. Some planets may have characteristics similar to Earth and have conditions suitable for life. In order for life to exist, some basic conditions must be met. These include factors such as the presence of liquids such as water, the presence of a suitable atmosphere, the appropriate temperature range, and the presence of organic compounds. Scientists use a variety of methods to search for and identify planets where life may exist. For example, they try to evaluate the possibility of life by examining distant planets through space telescopes and planet hunter telescopes. NASA's Kepler and TESS missions have discovered hundreds of potentially habitable planets. However, we do not have definitive information about whether these planets actually harbor life. Analyzing the atmospheres of planets can provide more information and traces where life may exist. Scientists are conducting research on several planet candidates with the possibility of life. One of these is the TRAPPIST-1d planet, located in the TRAPPIST-1 system. TRAPPIST-1 is a star system consisting of 7 planets located approximately 40 light-years away. TRAPPIST-1d is a near-Earth-sized planet orbiting a Sun-like star. The planet TRAPPIST-1d was discovered by a research group at the Belgium-based University of Liège. The team led by Michael Gillen, the leader of this research group, launched an observation campaign in 2015 with the telescope called TRAPPIST to detect planets transiting stars. It is a telescope with a 60-centimeter mirror located at the La Silla Observatory on Chile's Cerro La Silla mountain. Although this telescope is low cost and relatively small, it is used very effectively to detect planets transiting stars. The research team began examining the star TRAPPIST-1 with the TRAPPIST telescope in 2015. TRAPPIST-1 is a red dwarf star located approximately 40 light-years away in the constellation Aquarius. The star is smaller and cooler than the Sun, and its surface temperature is lower. The research team monitored the star's brightness changes to detect the presence of planets orbiting the star. When a planet passes in front of a star, or undergoes a transit, there is a slight decrease in the star's brightness. This decline shows a certain regularity depending on the size and orbit of the planet. The research team detected the presence of 7 planets transiting around the star TRAPPIST-1. These planets are similar in size to Earth and were thought to have characteristics similar to a planet orbiting the Earth. One of these is the planet TRAPPIST-1d. The discovery of planet TRAPPIST-1d was announced in an article published in Nature magazine in 2016. This discovery was of great importance in terms of the discovery of potentially habitable planets, and it was thought that the planet may have the necessary conditions for life to exist. The discovery of the TRAPPIST-1d planet sparked great interest in the astronomy community worldwide and encouraged further observations and research. This discovery triggered efforts to identify new targets for future space telescopes and observation projects and to collect more data to examine the possible existence of life. The planet TRAPPIST-1d has attracted great attention due to its habitability potential. Since the planet is located in a relatively colder region than its star, it was considered a suitable candidate for the existence of liquid water. The existence of liquid water is fundamentally an important factor for the development of life. However, more research and observations are needed to obtain more detailed information about the planet TRAPPIST-1d. Obtaining more information about this planet's atmosphere and internal structure is important to search for potential traces of life. The gas composition, presence and amount of elements such as water vapor, methane and oxygen in the atmosphere can provide important clues in determining the possible existence of life. Future observation projects and technological developments aim to study the TRAPPIST-1d planet and other TRAPPIST-1 system planets in more detail. One of these is NASA's James Webb Space Telescope project. With the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, it will be possible to obtain more data about the planet TRAPPIST-1d and other potentially habitable planets. TRAPPIST-1 is a star system located approximately 40 light-years away in the constellation Aquarius. This system was discovered as a result of observations made with the TRAPPIST telescope in 2016. TRAPPIST-1 is a red dwarf star much smaller than the Sun and has a lower surface temperature. The TRAPPIST-1 star system consists of one star orbiting 7 planets. These planets are named TRAPPIST-1b, TRAPPIST-1c, TRAPPIST-1d, TRAPPIST-1e, TRAPPIST-1f, TRAPPIST-1 and TRAPPIST-1h. These planets are very close to the size of Earth and are located very close to their stars. The interesting aspect of the TRAPPIST-1 star system is the distances and orbits of the planets from their stars. Planets orbit very close to their stars, and their distances from their stars are much smaller than the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Therefore, the duration of a year is much shorter on the TRAPPIST-1 planets than on Earth. For example, the planet TRAPPIST-1d has a year lasting only 4.05 days due to its distance from its star. The TRAPPIST-1 star system has attracted great interest due to its habitability potential. Some planets may be suitable candidates for the presence of liquid water due to their distance from their stars and the exchange of sunlight. The existence of liquid water is an important factor for the development of life. For this reason, the TRAPPIST-1 planets have attracted the attention of researchers as planets where life could exist. The discovery of the TRAPPIST-1 planets was carried out using an observation technique called the transit method. This technique is used when a planet passes in front of its star, causing a slight decrease in the star's brightness. The TRAPPIST-1 star system has attracted great attention since its discovery and has been the subject of many observation and research projects. One of these projects is observations made by NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. Hubble was used to examine the atmospheres of TRAPPIST-1 planets and search for potential signs of life. The gas composition, presence and amount of elements such as water vapor, methane and oxygen in the atmosphere can provide important clues in determining the possible existence of life on planets. In addition, the James Webb Space Telescope project, carried out jointly by NASA and ESA, European Space Agency, focuses on studies on the TRAPPIST-1 star system. The James Webb Space Telescope is a telescope that can make more sensitive and detailed observations, and TRAPPIST-1 aims to examine the atmospheres of planets in more detail. With the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, it is expected that more data will be obtained about the TRAPPIST-1 planets, especially those with habitable potential. The TRAPPIST-1 star system is also interesting due to the close positions of the planets and their proximity to their stars. This suggests the existence of an environment in which travel from one planet to another and interplanetary interactions are possible. In the future, it is planned to continue observations and research to obtain more information about the atmospheres, surface features and potential life forms of these planets. TRAPPIST-1d is a planet orbiting the star TRAPPIST-1. TRAPPIST-1 is a red dwarf star much smaller than the Sun. This star has a lower temperature and luminosity. Planets orbiting a smaller star are more likely to have conditions suitable for habitability. The surface temperature of this planet is very important. The temperature must be in a suitable range for water to exist in liquid form. Liquid water is considered an essential component of life. Considering TRAPPIST-1d's distance from its star, it is thought that its surface temperature may be suitable for the presence of liquid water. The atmosphere is an important factor for life to exist. The atmosphere protects the planet's surface, regulates temperature and protects it from the harmful effects of sunlight. Learning more about the composition and density of TRAPPIST-1d's atmosphere could provide clues about the potential existence of life. The presence of water is critical for life to exist. The presence of liquid water is necessary for biochemical reactions to occur and for life to develop. Finding evidence of water on the surface of TRAPPIST-1d could increase the habitability potential of the planet. TRAPPIST-1d's magnetic field plays an important role in protecting the planet from radiation. The magnetic field protects the planet's atmosphere and surface from solar winds. Additionally, factors such as TRAPPIST-1d's geological activity and volcanism may also affect the planet's habitability. May affect its potential. Geological activity, volcanoes and tectonic movements shape the planet's surface and affect the atmosphere. Besides these, other factors are also important for TRAPPIST-1d to provide the necessary conditions for habitability. For example, the presence of a protective magnetosphere against solar winds is important for the development of life by protecting the planet's atmosphere and surface. Additionally, factors such as the chemical composition of the planet, the availability of elements and nutrients, and the formation of organic compounds can also affect the existence of life. It is not possible to make a clear assessment of its full habitability potential. Space telescopes and observation instruments with advanced technologies are needed to examine the planet in more detail and to investigate its atmosphere and other physical properties. Kepler 452b is a planet similar to Earth discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope. The discovery of Kepler 452b was made as part of the Kepler mission, operated by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. The Kepler Space Telescope was launched in 2009 and was designed to detect planets outside the Solar System. The discovery of Kepler 452b was included in the fourth catalog of the Kepler mission, announced on July 23, 2015. This planet was detected by the transit method through regular observations by the Kepler Space Telescope. The transit method is a method of determining the presence of a planet by measuring the decreases in the star's brightness as it passes in front of its star. Kepler 452b orbits a similar star, Kepler 452. This star attracts attention with its similarity to the Sun and is a G-type star. Kepler 452b's distance from its star is similar to our distance from the Sun. Kepler 452b's diameter and mass are very close to and similar to those of Earth. Therefore, Kepler 452b is described as a cousin of Earth. Kepler 452b's habitability potential depends on factors such as its distance from its star and surface temperature. Its distance from its star determines the amount of sunlight the planet receives and affects its surface temperature. Since Kepler 452b's surface temperature is similar to Earth's, liquid water is more likely to exist. However, further research is required to learn more about Kepler 452b's atmosphere, composition, and other factors. The discovery of Kepler 452b further strengthened the existence of Earth-like planets and the possibility of life in the universe. This planet is considered an important candidate for habitability and aims to learn more through future observations and research. While we do not have definitive information about Kepler 452b's atmosphere, we do not yet have a full understanding of its atmospheric composition because no direct observations or analyses have been made yet. Gliese 581 grams was discovered not by the Kepler Space Telescope, but by another method examining the Gliese 581 star system. Gliese 581 grams was announced as a result of work carried out by a research team on September 29, 2010. This research team consisted of a group of scientists and astronomers at the University of California's College of Arts and Sciences. The discovery was made using a Doppler spectroscopy study examining the Gliese 581 star system. Doppler spectroscopy is a technique for detecting the presence of planets by examining speed changes caused by the motion of a star. This technique reveals the presence of a planet thanks to the Doppler shift, called the red or blue shift of a star's light. Gliese 581 grams has been detected as a sixth planet orbiting around its star Gliese 581. This planet aroused great interest due to its distance from its star, its location in the so-called habitable zone, and the possibility of the existence of liquid water. However, the existence of the planet Gliese 581 grams is still a controversial issue. While some scientists support the discovery, others argue that there is not enough evidence for the existence of this planet. The main reason for the controversy is the accuracy of the Doppler spectroscopy method and the inability to confirm the existence of the planet with other observations. No direct observations or analyses have been made about the atmosphere of the planet Gliese 581 grams. Therefore, we do not have precise information about atmospheric composition or other properties. More research is needed on the planet's habitability potential and atmosphere. K218b is an exoplanet with habitable potential. K218b is a planet discovered in 2015 as part of the Kepler Space Telescope's K2 mission. This planet orbits the star K2-18 and is approximately 111 light-years away. K218b is a large planet classified as a super-Earth. K218b stands out as a potentially habitable planet because liquid water is likely to exist. The planet's distance from its star indicates that its surface temperature may be in the range where water can remain liquid. K218b's diameter is similar to the diameter of Earth and its mass is about 8 times that. We do not yet have precise information about what its atmosphere is like and its composition. However, scientists think that K2-18b's atmosphere may contain gases important for life, such as water vapor and hydrogen. Future observations and technological advances are required to study the planet's atmosphere in more detail. For example, more powerful telescopes such as the James Webb Space Telescope may provide the opportunity to analyze K2-18b's atmosphere in more detail. Kepler-62e is an exoplanet with habitable potential. Kepler-62e is a super-Earth planet discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope in 2013. This planet orbits the star Kepler-62 and is located approximately 1,200 light-years away. Kepler-62e is similar in size to Earth and is among the Earth-like planets in the Solar System. This planet has habitability potential as its distance from its star and the energy it receives from the star is in a range where water can remain liquid. However, we do not have precise information about the planet's atmosphere. The structure and composition of the atmosphere are important factors that determine the habitability potential of the planet. Kepler-62e's atmosphere, if present, affects the planet's surface temperature, pressure, and composition. If there is water vapor and other gases important for life in the atmosphere, the likelihood of liquid water existing on this planet increases. However, more research is needed to determine exactly what the atmosphere is like. The planet Kepler-62e is a candidate targeted by future observations and more advanced space telescopes to examine the possibility of life existing. In particular, new generation telescopes such as the James Webb Space Telescope may provide the opportunity to examine the atmospheres of such planets in more detail. As a result, Kepler-62e is considered a potentially habitable planet, but further research and observations are needed to determine whether full-fledged life exists. Kepler-186f is an exoplanet with habitable potential. Kepler-186f is an Earth-like planet discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope in 2014. This planet orbits the star Kepler-186 and is approximately 500 light-years away. Kepler-186f has a size similar to Earth and is one of the planets in the habitable zone in the Solar System. Kepler-186f's habitability potential plays an important role due to its distance from the star. Its distance from the star affects the planet's surface temperature. Kepler-186f is located at a distance similar to Earth from its star, making it more likely that it is in a range where liquid water could exist. However, we need to have more information about Kepler-186f. The structure and composition of the atmosphere and other factors are important factors that affect the likelihood of life existing. Unfortunately, we do not have precise information about the planet's atmosphere. If Kepler-186f's atmosphere contains water vapor and other gases important for life, the possibility of liquid water on this planet increases. However, the structure of the atmosphere, greenhouse effect, surface temperature and other factors need to be investigated in more detail. Kepler-186f is considered a planet with the potential for life to exist, but further research and observations are required to make a definitive assessment. Future technological advances and next-generation space telescopes may provide the opportunity to examine Kepler-186f's atmosphere in more detail and provide more solid evidence of the existence of life. Ross-128b is an exoplanet with habitable potential. Here is information about the possibility of life on the planet Ross-128b. Ross-128b is a super-Earth planet discovered in 2017. This planet orbits the star Ross-128 and is located approximately 11 light-years away. Ross-128b is classified as a planet similar in size to Earth in the Solar System. Ross-128b's habitability potential stems from its distance from the star. The star Ross-128 is a red dwarf that is smaller and cooler than the Sun. Ross-128b orbits very close to its star, and so its surface temperature could potentially be in a range where liquid water could exist. However, we need to have more information about Ross-128b. The structure and composition of the atmosphere and other factors are important factors that affect the likelihood of life existing. Unfortunately, we do not have precise information about the planet's atmosphere. Ross-128b's atmosphere contains water vapor and other gases important for life. The possibility of liquid water on this planet increases. However, the structure of the atmosphere, the greenhouse effect, radiation levels and other factors need to be investigated in more detail. Ross-128b is considered a planet with the potential for life to exist, but further research is needed to fully determine the existence of life. Future technological advances and more advanced space telescopes may provide the opportunity to study Ross-128b's atmosphere in more detail and provide more precise information about the presence of life. Ross-128b was discovered by a group of scientists. This discovery was made by HARPS at La Silla Observatory. Radial velocity planet searcher is a high-accuracy radial velocity was achieved via the Planet Hunter. HARPS is a type of spectrograph used to discover planets around stars. In a press release on 15 November 2017, the European Southern Observatory has announced the discovery of a super-Earth planet around the star Ross-128. The discovery of Ross-128b was revealed through analysis of data obtained as a result of studies carried out by a large international research team. This team detected the existence of the planet by measuring the radial velocity of the star Ross-128. It has been determined that Ross-128b is a planet orbiting its star and has habitable potential. The discovery was made possible with the contributions of many scientists specializing in telescopes and data analysis. Ross-128b was made possible by the precision of the Planet Hunter HARPS and detailed analysis of observational data. This discovery is considered an example of the development of planet hunting technology and the importance of international cooperation in astronomical research. The planet Kepler-186f was discovered by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. The Kepler Space Telescope operated between 2009 and 2018 and discovered thousands of exoplanets. The discovery of Kepler-186f was made through regular observations and analysis of data made by the telescope. The Kepler Space Telescope detects the presence of planets using a method called the transit method. In this method, the presence of planets passing in front of a star and causing a small decrease in the star's brightness can be detected. The discovery of Kepler-186f was revealed by analysis of observational data collected by the Kepler Space Telescope. These data showed the brightness changes that occurred as the planet passed in front of its star. The analysis process consisted of steps such as meticulously examining the data, identifying regularities, and validating potential planet candidates. The discovery of Kepler-186f is a product of technological advances in space telescopes and research into planetary exploration. This discovery is an important step in expanding our knowledge about the search for extraterrestrial life and the diversity of the universe. Don't forget to subscribe for brand new documentaries and more scientific content.